Good morning. How are we doing? Happy Sunday and happy Yacht Day. On this day in 2015. That feels like a long time ago, man. Long time ago. Hope you're well. Ah! I think that's Sean. Scary stuff, huh? Scary stuff. Mr. Kieran, I think it was. Thank you very much, sir, for gifting 10 subs. Mr. Kieran gifted 10 subs. Thank you very much. Slip the Otter was 66 months. And Captain Flint gifting 20 subs. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that. Happy anniversary to you all. Let me take a step back from these two
anniversary.
Onamichi, thank you very much. Thank you for 10,000 biddies. Appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you. Happy yachts to you all. Now, I don't have a Yachts 9 shirt yet. That will be coming in the next week or two. I think they're trying to get even closer. What are they doing? What are they doing? Seriously, what are they doing? They're just making this really weird about themselves, aren't they? That's what they're doing. Making it about themselves. I don't have a Yachts 9 t-shirt, but I do have something else for you. We'll have a Yachts 9 t-shirt in a couple of weeks. But I have a mug, or two mugs actually, that you can get now. One of them has the Hung emote on it, which is one of my favorites. I haven't got it with me. And the other one has Scumbag Game, which we've been threatening to do for a long time. So if you run the mugs command, you'll get links to both. And the other one is basically this t-shirt, the Sim Forever t-shirt. That's also available on the store now. They're permanent items. So those two are there. Just the Yachts 9 shirts and stuff. Oh, look at them hugging. Oh, it's sweet. The Yachts 9 will be ready when it's ready. Pops is trying hard, isn't he? Look. Anyway, so I thought we'd jump into some railroads. I know there's been a whole bunch of changes. We started a new map here. They've changed the way you lay tracks and stuff, but I haven't tried it yet. Somebody has. Somebody's been tryharding, but me and Pups have not tried it yet. But I know that way you put track down has changed. So we'll see how that looks. I've put the little map in the bottom left as well.
Good Yachts 9 Sir Paul, here's to many more. BTW Steam Train Hype.
I was going to say, Chris, that this is for you, Chris. Look at this. Look at this, Chris. Thank you, mate. Angry Fat Man, thanks for 2 years. Fat Boy Fat, thank you for 20 months. There's a lot of fat going on here. You know you're not allowed to say fat anymore. That's been banned. Yord, thank you for 87. There's Betsy. Also, I think they've got coal-powered trains in here now, so that will be cool if we get a coal-powered train at some point. Anyway, I think we've got Pups and Somi joining, and then I think Vroma's joining this afternoon, if I remember.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
I'm feeling a bit double-breed, to be honest, Paul.
No, I can see that. Your ears are disgusting, by the way.
You can't talk. You're exactly the same.
And you can't hear. Oh, dear. Code Red, thank you for 94 months. Regera, thank you for converting from Prime to Tier 1. Right, I guess the first thing is start cutting some trees down, right?
Yeah.
And some logging. Have they changed the way this works? Because this
Not
used to
really.
be a bit weird.
I will say I need to send you both something.
Oh, no.
Oh, it looks like you just single-click the trees now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's improved.
You used to have to, like, sit there and spam them 3 or 4 times. That's a bit easier.
You
Oh, what have you sent me, Sammy?
Woohoo
you won't need
Yachts
it because you don't
9.
track build, but
Okay.
What? What's that, a spreadsheet? You sent me a spreadsheet.
I've sent you a spreadsheet.
Okay, I have downloaded said spreadsheet. It's not your tax return, is it?
If only it was, Paul. If only it was.
There we go. So, degrees of curve to radius. This is very technical.
It will make more sense when you start track building, trust me.
Yeah, all right. Well, I've got that in the background there. Can't wait to use that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Maxwell, thanks for 85 months. Benna, thank you for gifting 5 subs. Guys, if you got gifted a sub, please give that person a thank you. There's been a few gifts today.
Right. Would you like me to go and do an area, or are we doing lines together, or how would you like to play, Paul?
I think the danger is, Tommy, is if you go off just to do an area, what you'll do is just go and do how you've probably already done it, or know how to do it, or something like that. Which is nice, but it's a bit like, and here's one I prepared earlier.
Cool.
TV magic, innit?
Yeah. So, I don't know. We need to figure something out that's interesting and not
Happy
pre-baked.
Yachts 9. No better game to start the year with than all the train shenanigans. SQRLHNNNG Scrove.
Thank you, Echolos. Electric Games, thank you for gifting 3 subs. Welcome, guys. I like that name. He gifted a sub to McBurger Kong.
Oh.
What a name.
Wonder if it's Donkey Kong's cousin or something.
Somebody, when you route in track, because remember we used to put like water towers down to act as waypoints. Is there anything better, or is it still like that?
No, it's still like you either wing it or... I mean, put it like this. With the new spline system, you can lay 200 meters of track in one go.
Right.
So it's the infinite theory of if I was to start over here.
Where are you? Oh, there you are. Is this one you?
I'm the one running in the middle, from the middle track.
Yeah, it only shows your name when I look at you.
Yeah, that seems to have... The clip zone for the name seems to have got a lot less.
Lord Bongo, thank you very much for gifting another 10 subs. Welcome, guys. Thank you for all your support. Yeah, we have a new mug, or 2 mugs, and we have new t-shirts in the store, but no Yachts 9 one yet. So the goal of the game is not only to haul stuff around, but you have to basically...
Where did this track come from?
You have to lay the ground. You have to lay the ground and then lay the track.
No, you don't.
Sorry, what I meant to say was you have to convert the ground by chopping trees down, so prepare the ground that way, and then lay the track.
So this is a piece of 200-meter track that is perfectly straight, that lays in one go with the track and the groundwork underneath.
You see, that is
that
is a completely different way of laying track to what we used to play a year ago.
Yeah, totally. And then if I do the next track over as an example...
So is it easier to get parallel track now then?
Well,
at the same height.
If I do this, that's another piece of 50-meter track.
Well, when you say when I do this, you see, I'm looking around. I don't even see you.
I'm back.
You alone know what you're doing.
Hang on. So look, these 2 pieces of track that I'm now coming towards you are perfectly straight and perfectly level. Paralleling is quite difficult when you go into curves.
So nothing new.
So they haven't made a way, like, is there a way of defining the gap between the track?
No, you cannot lay 2 tracks together. There is no way of doing it.
Because
We used
to cheat by putting like those cross pieces down and use them as a grid.
Yeah. So what you can do is set up your first corner as an example. So here's a corner. Then if you obviously do a double cross, so 1 and 2, in
That's
theory,
got no foundation in it.
Well, don't worry about that for the moment. When you start laying this outside track, it will follow the progressive curve. But you will have little sections of the curve that have tiny straight sections in where the the 90-degree crossovers are.
Did anybody else understand that?
Against me?
I find it weird that there's no foundation on the cross piece.
Well, you can put the foundation in afterwards still. I mean, from what I've found, you're never going to play with enough players that deems and warrants having double track anyway.
3 foot rail 1, 3 foot rail 2, 3
So
foot
if
rail
you
3.
use the 1, 2, and 3,
What's the difference?
the 1, 2, and 3 is basically the only height. The only difference is the height of the groundwork that's underneath it. So remember the embankment 1, 2, and 3, which is below it. The embankment 1, 2, and 3, like 1 was a little short one, 2 was a little bit taller, and 3 was the tallest that you can have. So in theory, on the terrain that you're on at the moment, you shouldn't need more than a 1.
I'll just put 3 down to see what happens. Do I need? Am I missing shortcuts? It says none, edit construction grid, none, place new point, none, rotate construction.
Yeah, you probably need to reset your keys, I'd have thought.
It feels like something's not right here.
I think you used to have custom ones.
What did I used to change? Right, reset input. I used to have something different, but I don't know what.
I think it was the
So you've probably, yeah, you're probably one behind me. So if you scroll down to the bottom,
Yeah. Left mouse button plays track. I find it weird that they were all gone.
yours have now changed. Yours have now updated.
Well, I've reset them to a reset input.
Yeah. So now what you should find is the only thing that I have done.
I think
Didn't I change the numeric keys because I felt like they were backwards somehow?
yes. I was going to say,
Yeah, but I think
to say that.
I think they're fixed now.
So now I've got stuff I can place. Although that's the jankiest piece of track I've ever seen. What is that?
That's all right. So it's because you haven't got circle mode switched on at the moment. So if you press num 5,
Right.
did yours actually? Yes, it did. There you go. So now you will only be placing track that's aligned on a degrees of 90 on a grid of 10, the radius of 0, and an incline of 0. So it's straight, flat track, yeah?
Hang on. Alignment 90 degrees. Alignment to what?
The world. So 90 degrees across the world. So the compass acts as a 360, yeah?
And grid of 10.
Is the amount of increment of space that you have between the things. So you can have a grid of 1, 10, 50, and 100.
So
if you
we're
have
laying
other-
track on a grid now, are we?
Yeah, so if you have so it's that the way the splines work, but it's really hard to. How can I? So if you were to place 2 sections of track, turn circle mode off, and then connect those 2 pieces of track separately, it will draw a progressive curve between the 2. That's how the splines work.
So it's kind of taking the guesswork out of curves.
A little bit, yeah.
Radius minus 30.
Yeah, which is the smallest that you can go. And then if you look at my spreadsheet, it will make more sense as to what that minus 30 actually means.
Okay, spreadsheet.
So you see it's got 3 columns of degrees of a curve, degrees of scale feet, and then radius in meters.
Yeah.
So if you look at your 30 meters of radius that you've got, that means that you're somewhere of a degree of a curve of somewhere between 62 degrees and 61 degrees of a curve. I prefer degrees of a curve because it makes more sense to me from a model railway perspective. That's why I've made this spreadsheet. The theory is I've done the colors to be like track limits of when you build a curve, ideally, you want to keep it as small as possible, right? So the track is as least progressive as possible, e.g. the train goes around smoother.
I don't think I'm ready for the spreadsheet. I think conceptually I'm not quite getting this. I need to get the concepts in my head, and then that spreadsheet might make some sense. I think you've gone from 0 to 100 a bit too quickly. You've gone like, is this how you put some track down? There's a grid, and here's a spreadsheet full of numbers. Don't you get it? No, I don't.
So if you build a circle, if you build a perfect circle, so find a random spot.
Right, I'm going to get rid of this track here. And there. And then we're going to build that. Okay, so we're going to put a piece of track down. And why is it built that way? What if I want to come this way?
You'll have to adjust the alignment with your 4 and 6.
So it's does the implication then that way is east?
So that track is running east-west, yes.
Because we must be in the southern hemisphere then, based on where that sun is. We're in Australia.
Yes.
You say not complicated, and then you're getting involved with something.
Well, I would have had east that way, but let's not split hairs, right? So we've got that down.
The shed that's built on the map runs east-west. The pitch runs north-south. Yeah?
Right, 30 degrees, so minus 30 meters. So that means if I keep building this, how far can I make this?
You might be able to almost get halfway round.
I can get to here.
Until it starts doing janky things, yeah?
It won't let me move any further than that.
Yeah, so build that.
Yeah.
And then carry on, keep going around, and connect it back to where you started.
Well, you say that. When I'm pointing down at it and I get the chain icon, the track's still going off in that direction.
Yeah, it won't matter. It honestly will not matter.
Okay. So we do that. So Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, well, you might be able to glitch it through the building by getting to the other side, then press and build. You might.
Yeah, not so fortunate. Nope. So that's the shortest curve you can make.
So that's the smallest radius of curve that you can physically make in this game.
The 30-meter radius, you might only build like a quarter of a circle. I'm not sure what your point is, Tommy. That's effectively a semicircle, isn't it?
Yeah,
More
I mean,
or
if
less.
you look at your Railroads Online extended map, you'll see that you've got a perfect, nice little semicircle, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's obviously contextually in the world. And that, if you were to go to the other end of your... If you go from the other end of your curve, you could almost complete it. Obviously, the building will stop you. But so, 30 track. And obviously this is just, you'd have to do plus 30 because you're tracking the other way to make a circle.
How do we do radius again? Radius was 4 and 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, so left and right, and then up and down is...
Hang on, 4 and 6 is edit curve radius, but it's changing my alignment. It says numeric 4 and 6, rotate construction. Numeric 4 and 6, edit curve radius.
Because you're not currently... So you need to place your first bit, so you get your alignment set, and then you can set your...
Right, so then 4 and 6 changes to something else, okay.
Yeah.
Two and 8, edit gradients. So there's a 2 degree incline.
There you go. So I've completed the circle.
What can't those? There we go. Huzzah. Why can't I put this down?
Okay, so because your foundation isn't tall enough. See underneath,
Yeah.
you've got an air gap now. You can't have an air gap. It will restrict you with an air gap. So you'd have to either pick... If you pick rail 3...
Can't even put it down back here. I'm left-clicking frantically and it won't put it down.
It's probably because it's still not happy with the depth that you set. Basically, if you pick rail 3, most of the time it'll build it, no matter where it looks. It'll look a bit odd, but it'll build it.
Which begs the question, why would you not choose rail 3 anyway?
I generally do, to be fair.
Seems a bit odd. There we go.
Yeah, so on my current map build that I'm building, I don't use inclines above 1 degrees because that was a restriction that I set myself. Which means that my track needs to be 3 times longer because I need the distance to get the height, right?
Mm-hmm. Switch left, switch right.
Yeah, and rail
stop
3
switch.
does have a height limit, and then the bridges 1, 2, and 3 have height limits as well. So you will find a point where if you're building across a valley, all of a sudden, if the terrain just dips away, because you obviously cross one of the contour lines.
So they've got some textures on these bridges and stuff now.
Yeah, the different... if you build a section of it, you'll see that there's like a walkway on one side, which is quite nice. And then the difference... So you were then flicking on wall 1. The difference, obviously, between rails and ballast is it will either just build a wall or it'll build a wall with rails on the top.
Oh, they've got a
I like
stopper.
that chain.
Nice. Finally, they put a little bumper in there.
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, it doesn't put it down with any ballast on it.
No, because normally you'll find that it'll build and then you just put a little bit underneath it.
So hang on, having built this section, so say you just want to take a piece away now. How do you take a piece away?
Well, that depends on how incremental you built it.
Right.
So, because it was built in one, that curve was probably built in 3 spines. It will delete the entire spine, but not. It's if you build 200 meters of track in one go, and you want to go
meters.
and you want to go, oh, I want to just put a point in here now. You'll have to essentially delete that 200 meter section of track, place the point down where you want it, and then connect in the point from the 2 points where your 200 meters was. I'm sorry if this isn't making any sense on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, but
So
when
basically-
I just deleted that, I chose to delete rails, but then
Yeah,
it
so-
deleted all the ballast as well.
No, because you've built it as rails. Even though it's rail with ballast, it will delete it as a section.
So, I mean, that could be very painful, couldn't it?
Not. It has its I found there's more advantages with the spline update than not. So yes, you may think it's inconvenient, but I can assure you, if you now go,
Oh, I think building's easier, but modification is definitely harder.
modification is definitely harder. But it would be the theory of if I put, it might let me do this. So if I put a point in here, we're building a bit too close to this building anyway. But if you now essentially
point?
click, if you were to get your rail, turn your circle mode off, pick a section of this point to connect to your line that's already there, it will build it. It'll look really janky, but it will build it for the principle of this
What's
statement.
circle mode?
So that's your, if you press number 5.
Yeah, but what is it?
So that enables you to use. So if you turn off circle mode, it's completely free placement.
So it's basically an alignment mode.
Yeah, I can't remember what they used to call it. It wasn't called circle mode in the last one, but if you build without circle mode on, you can build weird pieces of track. I mean,
Well, I just put a piece down and it's bent. I didn't even try.
yeah. But if you connect it between 2 spines that are set up, it will draw a relatively perfect line.
Okay. Cool. Well, I guess we've got to do by doing now. So, let's Get rid of
It's like
system.
Lumberjack Puppy's been on the case.
Hopefully, I can aid with some explanation on the way, but principally, the building is a hell of a lot easier. Takes a little bit of getting used to.
Pups, do you just hate trees? Like,
What? Oh, you lot were busy, so I made myself useful, okay?
deforestation complete.
Well, you've got to put a train through this way. I was just helping.
Chalky, thank you for 7 months. SJ, thank you for 11. And Lost Christian, thank you for 33. I will at some point, Monko, yes.
And could you do a barrel roll as well, please, Paul?
It depends what plane I'm in.
Any plane.
I remember we've got to get to the sawmill, the log camp or something first.
Yep.
Yep.
Is there a map in the game?
Press M.
M for map. You still have no contour lines or...
No, you have to go to the online extended map for that.
You really need to allow map mods so you can get different maps. You can teleport on the in-game map when you place telegraph huts. Really?
Yeah.
So they let you teleport around now? That's
Yeah.
useful.
Can,
Well, if you
could
didn't
do
use
that
it,
on-
if you didn't use extended, yes.
Which most people won't, I suspect. I'm heading towards the sawmill. Roughly. Didn't they add a new industry recently? Was that the coal one?
No, that's not a new.
They added
industry,
something.
it's just
I thought there was some new industry.
Are you thinking of storm works?
Nah.
That was Stormworks that added the industrial
Oil
rev.
drilling, yeah.
Oil drilling. You couldn't even get oil to work.
You do have to pay £7 for the privilege, though.
You know, when they added missiles, I was like, what's going on with that game?
You have to pay £7 for that privilege as well.
Yeah, they can keep that bit. Added coal locos, yeah.
Hey, Paul!
What?
I think that's you anyway. You don't have a name tag, so I don't actually know.
What's the log unloading and loading? Has that sort of been changed? Because it was a bit dodgy.
It's now automatic.
What do you mean automatic?
Whoa!
You don't have to...
You park the truck in front of the crane. You press the click to start button, and it will load and load and load and load until it's full, and then it'll stop loading.
Wait, so those cranes over there, you don't have to like manually click them all the time?
You have to click them once to start them,
Right.
or you can go on Railroads Online Extended and click it to start the crane in Extended, and then it will start to load the the carriage, and then once it's finished loading, it'll stop.
Interesting.
The hours of my life I wasted clicking on crates.
I mean, that's going to change Rome's entire game, that is.
I'm surprised this game has enough mods for Frame to even consider playing it. It's got to at least have 200 mods per game, right?
Yeah. What's the purpose of the pond? So it acts as a storage for your logs. So when you bring logs in, if there's too many, it floats them in there. What happens when you have more than one material available to load? I don't know. What does it do then? It's not one car per load type, is it?
It holds the logs in the carriage until there's space.
Yeah, not quite an auto crane. Click to start, and it continues for that car.
Right.
Then it'll stop once it's full or empty, and then once you've done that and you move again, you just click to start again.
I'm amazed how they managed to build this sawmill whilst being surrounded by trees. Like, I don't even know how they got the stuff here and built it.
Magic.
Just left all the trees in place.
This game still needs a planning feature.
Loads of trees there that I'm fairly sure I clicked on the way here.
Yep, I'm having to multi-click again.
We doing network? I think we used to come through here, didn't we?
Yeah, because we had the big Y section here, if you remember, because we had one going off to the smelter, one going to the freight depot, and one to the oil field and the logging camp. We had like a massive junction where you roughly are now, Paul.
Yeah, it's a huge drop down to the smelter, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember the fun and games down there.
And I'm pretty sure it's quite one of these going up to, might be the ironworks, is quite a rise as well.
Yeah, because where the iron ore mine and then where they chose to build the ironworks is just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yep.
See, iron ore mine, you have to take the stuff all the way down to the smelter. See, coal mine, refinery.
Well, the iron ore mine and the coal mine are in the mountains, aren't they? And then...
Yeah. What a pain. How much money did we start with? I can't remember.
You start with 2,000.
Oh, don't we have to join Paul's company as well when we start selling stuff?
Yeah.
There was something like that. I don't know how we do it.
Oh, it's still that thing. If you bring it up, if it goes orange, it means you're in the company. They haven't actually still made that clear or not.
How do I bring you in the company?
I just click your name in the player menu. Don't ask me how I got it up, because I don't know.
Tab.
Ping of 12 and a ping of 7. Blimey. A ridiculous bridge from coal mine towards a depot. Yeah, I can't remember. I remember we used to have a bridge that went through some goalposts. I remember putting water towers as goalposts at one point.
That was going up to the iron ore mine.
That was
and
it.
then the coal mine.
We kind of aimed the track between that.
Yep.
And then there was a ridiculous turn around. There was like a U-bend that descended down.
The amount of hours we spent trying to get up there.
Well, just like laying a spline back then was nigh on impossible. And then you'd have to go back and tidy the track up because it was too janky.
Are we double tracking this, by the way?
We probably just should do it anyway, shouldn't we?
That's what I'm thinking.
I think I've lost my direction here. It's just a forest. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm going.
I don't know.
I'm lost. Stupid trees. Hang on, so you're there. I feel like I've not made a gap here. This is ridiculous.
You have made a gap. It just went towards the mountain.
If only you had a compass, even that would be useful.
No, don't be silly, Paul.
You know why they're not going to add a compass in this game? Because that would prove they're in Australia. Or they suddenly realise they've got the sun in the wrong place. They're like, go! Right, so that goes to the sawmill, doesn't it? Right. So freight depot, roughly this way. This is the worst bit, tree felling.
I genuinely think you guys should build the track and then cut the trees afterwards, because you'll find that with the spline system, your track will be going in a different way that you thought it was going to go.
Fine, you build, Paul. I'll chop trees down. This guy's so me, man. Thinks he knows it all.
Well, it's fine having like a route and a path where you think it's going to end up, but I can assure you sometimes it doesn't go to plan.
Yeah, but the puppy approach.
Lay the track with a spine, and then you go, oh, this is the gap that I need to clear, and then you can go accurately.
But chopping trees down is fun, Sammy. Fake trees. Just want to clarify. Fake trees.
I can't even find. Where's the depot, pups?
In front of us, apparently.
Well, is it over this
Just
hill?
look for the massive patch of land I cleared.
Miles away. Just keep going straight.
How close do I have to get to someone before their name pops up?
Pretty close.
Let's look at the right pixel and everything. Right, there it
Okay,
is.
within like 3 meters of the person.
The saved and take you 20 minutes. Thank you, mate.
Found the depot. And they had a lawnmower DLC.
A lawnmower DLC?
Yeah, to cut the grass.
Don't think so.
Gotta make it look pretty.
What did we use this for again? We had track to come here, but I can't remember what you did.
This is the sell point.
Yeah, this is the sell point for every available resource on the map. So if you haven't unlocked the industry progression, then this is where you come and drop it off.
Okay. And we had... So you're given these 3 sidings. This is where
We
the
had-
So
stuff
those-
spawns, isn't it?
The sidings are the 6 places where it can spawn objects into the game, yes.
So I want circle mode. Click on that. And then put that to 0 radius. What's going on here?
If you press your numpad star, Paul, it will change the grid amount, so you can use that radius number in bigger increments or smaller increments.
Okay.
Well, let's say the grid on. So now, if you press num 4 and 6, it'll jump to 1,000, 900, 800, and various like that. But when you're placing track, you've got your incline on as well.
Thought it was going up.
2 and 8.
2 and 8. Ooh, I don't like the way it's in the ground.
And this is where our OCD
No,
comes into
seriously,
play.
it's just like you're building it into the flowers. It's just annoying.
Lawnmower DLC.
So what do we want here? We want a piece of track coming out this
And
way.
then
I don't want to build too big a spline because if we ever need to edit this,
I'm just going to work on the freight depot again. That's what I did last time.
trouble is we don't have any joins on these things here, do we? You could use a harp switch. Oh yeah, forgot we've got a harp now. Let me put a harp down.
I wouldn't call. I don't call it a harp. I call it a Y. But yeah.
Is stub switch 3-way?
Yeah. And then if you use the drop down, there's then the harp is the which side do you have the switch?
Does it really matter?
Well, not necessarily in this instance, but obviously if you're building tight, then you want the lever on a specified side, right?
Okay, but that'd be fine, won't it?
Yeah. And then there is something that you haven't had yet, is when you place a switch, when you have the switch out in your hand, you can press your, is it 2 and 8? To actually change the link point of this. No, it isn't. No, it's it's up and down. It's 2 and 8 to switch where it's going to actually connect. It'll make more sense when you actually pull one out and have it in your hand. So you haven't got to place a switch to then back a switch back, if that makes sense. So when you pick a switch up, if you place it this way, remember before you used to have to go to the other end, place a switch down and then turn it. You don't have to do that anymore. You can actually just look at the link and then select which link point you want to connect with. So if you pull a switch out and then get the little chain icon and then press 2 and 8, it'll start to spin on your screen, as in pick a different track that it's going to connect to. It may look a bit strange. Don't particularly worry about the rotation. As long as you've got the little link symbol on the end of your track, then it'll go how you would expect it to go.
It's still a mod. It's Railroad Online Extended.
Switch left 1, switch left 2.
That's just the lever on either side.
I want the switch to come backwards, don't I? So, don't want that. No. Switch left. Okay, I think it's that way. So basically I want the opposite of that now.
You want to switch right. I don't know which number because I didn't see which order you placed it in.
Switch to the right, number that one there, and then we'll go like that.
Then on that, you possibly want. I mean, that lever probably won't affect it too much, but you may have wanted that lever on the opposite side of the track. But yeah.
Scumbag. And then track. So if I turn circle mode off and then click on that link there.
Yeah,
and
you
click
should
on the
then
link
be
over
able
here,
to
it'll
click
just
the link over there, and it should draw a relatively good-looking piece of track.
it'll just
Don't look too
jankily.
bad.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Arguably, that's weird.
Well, you probably don't want this three-way point here, do you?
Why don't I want it here?
Or do you want? Is that what you're going for?
I don't know. I'm just trying to. I'm literally trying to merge the like. I guess you want to come. If you've got three tracks there, the best scenario is you can link. You can get from any track to any track. But that's complex, isn't it, and unnecessary. So we just, I guess, just do something, make it work, and then tidy it up later.
Last time we had all three into one main track. Well, in this case, it'd be two because we're double tracking it.
In the
and then
old
we
version,
had the junction further down to come into the freight depot, and then we looped it around the back of the spawn point, and we had like a parking section in the trees.
Is there a tower you can build that you can climb up and look down?
No, but just put your fly mode on.
How do we activate fly mode again?
Go on your Railroads Online, find your character, click your name, go cheats, and then turn it. I can turn it on for you if you want.
Cheats.
Then enable flying.
Enable flying. And then I can fly.
So I can go up. How do I go down?
You have to go into third person mode and then actually look up and down and move in that direction.
Oh, I remember now.
Because it's not actually a fly mode, it's...
You're running in the air mode.
Exactly, yeah. It's sort of anti-gravity mode, really. It's the way I would describe it.
Yeah, so I mean, what would you want to happen here? You could either just go from one track and just go out to the others. Depends what you need. You could just split off from track 1 to track 2, then track 2 to track 3 and do it that way.
Well, from a spacing perspective, if you do what you have done, how about something, if I can make it work?
The three-way switch diverging tracks are bugged for now. The track does not connect properly to them. Really? Yeah, I guess that's not lined up somewhere.
Yeah, it's because I was trying to do something. And the fact that that lever's slightly in the way as well is not helpful.
I mean, you don't have to use the heart piece at all. You can just... Exactly, you just go one to the other into the other. Then single track out. How do you build when you're in fly mode? There you go. Have to go first person.
You have to be in first person, yeah.
That's weird. Facilities. Good old-fashioned waypoints. Is this the fastest you can run? I thought you can go quicker.
You can turn your flying speed up if you want.
So when you're up here, you can actually get an idea of where you need to go. It's weird. They expect you to be a railroad engineer, but don't give you any planning tools. Right. Go away. I think, you know, inside this factory, they've got those, like, lookout towers that you can put down. And then you can at least stand up and look down. Because you do need to get that overview sometimes. You need that in the base game.
You could put the 3-piece like here facing towards the spawn point and just have 3 into 1.
Random. Yeah, I should do that, Echolos. Mr. Youngstar, thank you for 78 months battery H. Thank you for 72. Happy anniversary. Well, thank you for supporting it, battery. LS, thank you for 3 months. There we go. Now we can see where we're going. That to there. Baz, thank you for 93. Best day for the resub. When does the Scumbag Game t-shirt come up? Wait, what, you want the t-shirt, but you can get the mug, Baz. I should have asked Mr. Squirrel for the to make a couple with the mug. I don't know, we could make the t-shirt as well.
Sam, are you trying to do 3 into 1?
No.
Hang on, let me make a reminder for myself. Oop, clicked on something. There we go. Right, I'll do that. Where's the next water tower? Ruttiger, thank you for 13 months. There it is. Boyan, how you doing? Maybe just have some double track right through here. I definitely cut you down, you scumbag tree. I think we're going to need a scumbag tree t-shirt as well. They're perfect for Factorial players. Scumbag trees. And then just a picture of pups with a flamethrower stood next to them.
Yes! I'm down for that. Let's do it. Okay, this is annoying.
Curve gradients. Some weird alignment numbers. 359. Edit construction grid. Num star. So when you want to separate two tracks, are we using the old crossover thing to space them, or is there a different way?
No, there isn't, so I would stick with that as a principle.
Liverpool, thank you for the bits. Think we should have a t-shirt with Pup, Sommy, and Paul on. Lol. That's easy. Just put RGB.
I was going to say the same.
What about Alex? Well,
He's retired now, so
yeah, he's retired, so otherwise we would have done.
wait for the comment.
enjoy retired life, to be honest, yeah. Why not?
Are you using the track lane 3 or whatever it's called, Paul?
Yeah. Retired from gaming? No, just retired. He's retired. Doesn't work anymore.
Paul, you know there's the Scumbag Game T-shirt.
What?
Yeah, you know they've. I'll send it to you. Hang on. Send it into your DM.
Oh yeah, apparently we already have one.
I'm just doing it from. Well, that's the next question. It's not going to fit into the mugs or the Forever T-shirt. I'm going to have to make a new command.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know. We got that as well. Why wasn't you aware of this, Baz? Because I wasn't aware of this, Baz. That's why you wasn't aware of it, because I wasn't aware of it.
Well, could you shorten the link I sent you?
There you go.
I wasn't aware of this either.
Let's have a look. We'll do that, and that, and that. And then that, and that. There you
I'm
go.
on it, Fro. Scumbag shirt it will be.
Just frantically patching things. On Friday, apparently.
Oh, congrats, man.
Yeah, so that's why you didn't know, Baz, because basically it was done with the mug. I just wasn't informed it had been done with the mug, so... A red or a blue one? Go red, Baz. It's like, I know you can do massive splines in this, but I kind of feel like unless you have to, you should do smaller ones, because later on you come back and you can just take chunks out rather than like a massive 150-meter spline. Just because you want to put a junction in there or something.
Want me to add that command to the title as well, Paul?
Yeah. Let's do exclamation mark scumbag or something.
I'm on it.
If you turn circle mode off, you can just reconnect it automatically. Yeah, but Rome, if I understand it correctly, if I build like a 200-meter spline that way, and then I go, right, I want to put a junction in here. When I delete this, it'll delete 200 meters, and then I've got to bring something back to here, put a junction down, then carry it on back that way. Whereas if you've got smaller pieces, like 50 meters, it's just a bit less hassle, I think. Where's that going? Is that coming this way?
Yeah, if you want it to.
Well, I've got a double track right where I'm stood.
Yeah, so if you put like 2 points in both directions, so like 4 lots of points altogether.
Two points in both directions. What you trying to do?
Well,
How are we spacing the tracks again? Is it with the 90p, the crossover piece?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll just put a junction here to split it off to the right. But that doesn't split the left one yet.
so it's where are you going to start having 2 tracks from is the question then.
Well, I think what we normally do is come down the side of that warehouse, don't we? So we sort of split off somewhere here and go down the side of that warehouse.
Yeah, so you've got the new spawned locos coming from the track that I'm now on that you then said, where's that going?
Yeah.
So that needs to connect to a line at some point. It doesn't need to go to the point where you're standing at the moment. But if you want the ability to get the locos on the new spawn onto your, I don't know, left track, for instance, then you're going to need some way of doing that.
Right, I'm going to split that there. A little bit further back. And then... Gamer Core, thank you for the bits. Focus Z-Tech, thanks for 31. The question is, how do I bring... What junction do I need to bring this other track to the right?
Say that again.
What do you get when you cross a centipede and a parrot? A little walkie-talkie.
Thank you, Sparky. Thanks for the bits. I've got 2 tracks here, and I want to go to the right of that warehouse. So I've got a junction for the right track to go off.
But would you not have those 2 lines just going to the warehouse? Then you just need to join off to the left to pull that the new spur in?
Well, yeah, we can do that if you just want a single track over there.
Well, you don't need more than a single track from this point.
I know, Buzz, the shipping is terrible at the moment. I ordered the Yachts 9 2 weeks ago, and it's going to be here in another 2 weeks. I used to send things around in a matter of days. I don't know what's going on. So what am I trying to achieve here? I mean, I can just bring this around the outside. But what's the easiest way of getting these tracks to cross over? Would you have like that?
Well, I personally use the spacing of what the spacing is when you put a point, and then you know as you lay a point, you have the curved section that is obviously your turn.
Yeah.
If you grab the opposite of the point that you've just placed and then place curve to curve, that's the spacing I use for 2 tracks. So that whenever you want to do a crossover, your spacing is set as that distance rather than anything else.
Well, I've already gone for the crossover spacing.
because what you'll find is it's nearly next to impossible to put a cross or a track to track, because it's not a cross because they don't have that piece, but it's nearly impossible to put one piece of track to another piece of track next to each other unless you use that spacing.
Oh, game, come on. How to get rid of this stupid tutorial thing? Go away.
H.
J, H.
No, I've not got anything. What's going on?
Isn't J the hide the HUD thing?
I must have done... I don't know what I did.
So we're not using the crossover pieces for space.
Well, I did.
So have I.
I asked what to use. Somebody said use them. And I got down here and he's saying, no, I generally use junctions with a perfectly good reason why, but I've already done it with grid now, so I don't know where we go from here.
It's not too difficult to take... It's not too difficult to undo what you've done. Let me put it to you like that.
I'm still trying to get the piece I actually want here. This is just like...
You know you're on your right track, right, rather than your left track.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a piece to go back to my left track. That's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to do.
So
Okay.
we're not using the crossover pieces for space tracking anymore. That's
No
what we're
idea.
saying.
I don't know.
Because I've started down at the sawmill using the space.
I know what piece I want, but no amount of messing around will bring it to me.
Who's just started on my track?
Just wait a sec, pups.
Wow.
Denver Colt, thank you for gifting 10 subs. Welcome, guys. If you just got a sub, please give me a thank you.
Sammy, is that the same spacing or is it just like a couple of mil to the left? Okay, it's a couple of mil to the left.
So, no, it's not the right spacing.
But I got to delete this. Just keep that bit you've put in there so I can grab the spacing off.
It depends on what you want to try and achieve, pups. Not all double track needs to be at the same distance apart. But if you want to be able to swap from one track to the other, you need this spacing.
Right, just leave that space in there, Sammy. Thank you.
Cool.
My brain hurts already. I've only laid about 4 pieces of track.
That's what I wanted. Right. If I build... Oh, will you go down? Sounds like somebody's fired up a loco.
So was that a left and a right switch, Sammy?
No, it's 2 lefts.
Left 1 or left 2?
I don't know. It depends on which side the lever is on, mate. I can't remember what I did. I just did it.
Oh, man.
Right, so we put that off. Then we're going to rotate using that-ish. and we'll see where this goes. So we go like that.
I don't even know if that's right or not.
There's the input line. That's just what I wanted. So you can come out of that thing and go anywhere you want. So now we've got a curve. I need to know where I'm going now. Do we normally have the warehouse? Do we have like a siding on it and then we come onto the main line? Are we having a siding on either side of the warehouse? How are we doing it?
Well, you can unload either side, but Pups has already picked the long side, which is fine.
The long side being?
The side where the track is, where you can see just about on the right-hand side.
You can delete it.
That's not the warehouse, though, is it? From here, that looks like it's
that's
going
where you need to unload.
Looks like it's going to the spawn from here.
The track that I'm on is from the spawn, which is where the train is moving. The track on the right-hand side of that hut is the unload.
Lone Walker, is that a password for something?
Hope not.
Right, so you've got 2 tracks on this side of the warehouse. Is one of them an unload line?
Yes, the closest one, because you have to be close to unload it.
Right, so this other one I need to make into 2 tracks. So I can take my line past it, yeah?
Yes.
So I'll do that.
Why am I getting the connect symbol?
Because it's sometimes weird.
Trying to do your thing for... I don't know anymore.
Oh, dear. So how, when you're trying to line up a piece of track with something like this, you just eyeball it to try and get the angle right?
So it depends on how adventurous you're being, right? Because in theory, you could drag one of the tracks all the way from there, all the way over here, click, connect, and it will draw you a relatively perfect line. Curve, line, whatever. But if you want to help it a little bit, you know, by putting a progressive curve in, then you can obviously set your radius. Like the bit that, you know, where you said, right, that's where the new bit's coming from. I've just dragged where I built the track out to and literally dragged it from one end to the bit where you said, right, that's where that goes, and connected it. In fact, I may even take this bit out because it'll be less of a curve then. See, if you took circle mode off and just snapped it to that bit of track, it would draw it perfectly, Paul.
Right, so I don't need to try and judge it. I can... Oh, no, it only comes to here. Scumbag. I haven't got enough length. Like, it literally is about 5 meters. Oh, no. No, wait.
And that's sometimes the way. See, that's a bit ambitious.
No, wait. I hope that's... If I put that down, that looks right now like it's going to be jank central.
That won't look like that, but it will... See? But what I promise you will probably happen is if you now do the same with the outside track, it won't be parallel really going round the curve. It will sort of take a shorter route, probably. But you'll just have to see. Experiences vary, basically.
Banner, thank you for gifting a sub to Jimbo. Welcome back, Jimbo.